To many people, this concept may feel unimportant in their daily lives, but to Native American people, it represents a nearly 2-century-long fight for their freedom.
For Native nations, this fight continues to this day, and through their sovereignty, they have the right to govern themselves, being recognized as independent nations.
But with a 28% poverty rate on Native reservations, which is more than double the national average, many nations are struggling.
The difference between struggling and thriving nations often comes down to one critical factor: governance. When nations can build strong institutions and programs to support their people, everything can change.
We partnered with a nonprofit that is the first of its kind, one with a mission to help Native nations do more than just survive, but to thrive.
For the 2025 Add to Minnesota Public Service campaign, we decided to partner with Native Governance Center, a unique nonprofit dedicated to advancing Indigenous sovereignty through leadership in Native governance capacity.
Together, we created a campaign that celebrates Indigenous resilience and contributes to a future where Native sovereignty and self-determination flourish. Nawe, my name is Cooper Olson. I'm a proud member of the Seneca Nation of Indians, and I was the art director on our Add to team.
And I'm Austin, the strategist. Our team really acted as a mini agency. On stage here, on the slides, is Noah, our media buyer and planner, and on the screen and in the monitor behind you, you can see the rest of the team that worked in this. We had PMs, accounts, and also other creatives that had a wide range of skill sets. We're so proud to be dedicated Add to Minnesota members, and we're so excited to show you this campaign that we've been working on for almost a year.
During our search for the perfect nonprofit partner, NGC stood out to us as the strongest fit in our diverse cast of powerful applicants.
Minnesota's deep and rich Native history made them feel like a really natural choice. Well, then after meeting with nonprofits, it felt like they had the deepest connections in Minnesota. And they resonated with Add to's goal to use strategic marketing to create meaningful change.
Native nations act as sovereign nations, which means they need to support their people through everything that you see on the screen here and more. And despite facing adversity like hundreds of unfair treaties and minimal resources, some have found a way to thrive.
The Harvard Project on American Indian Economic Development found that nations with strong governance institutions grow 5 to 7 times faster than those without. So the key question is then, how can more Native nations build strong governance to support their people?
Enter Native Governance Center.
Native Governance Center was born out of the understanding that Native sovereignty is a living force that drives forward culture. Founded in 2016, it emerged from the vision of Native leaders across 23 nations across the Midwest. And these leaders saw a critical need to give resources to support Indigenous government, a need that Native Governance Center continues to address today with unwavering commitment.
NGC supports Native nations through 4 main efforts. They offer leadership development, overall government consulting, a tribal finance program, as well as community engagement efforts.
Through these 4 initiatives, NGC is building a future where Native sovereignty continues to be a reality, where cultural traditions can be preserved, and where Native generations can grow up and continue to thrive.
From the outset, our partnership with NGC was rooted in understanding. We took the time to explore the why behind our goals, to ensure that our support was truly aligned with their mission and vision.
A master brief kept our teams aligned with key objectives, while structured meetings, both with clear agendas and progress briefings, kept us on track. We met weekly internally and externally with the client.
NGC came to us asking to grow their donor base, but we uncovered a bigger barrier. Many people in our communities were unfamiliar with NGC. According to a study by Reclaiming Native Truth, 72% of Americans rarely or never encounter information about Native people in pop culture or media. There was a clear disconnect here.
Without the pre-established awareness of NBC's mission to build strong self-determinations, donor engagement would likely fall short. So we pivoted.
Our campaign became an awareness-focused movement to spotlight NGC's impact, all while building a deeper understanding of Native people and their mission.
To craft a campaign that met our clients' needs, we conducted comprehensive research to understand the target audience, nonprofit landscape, and Native Governance Center's unique position within it.
First, we looked at insights into our audience, moving beyond demographics to understand what really drives support and engagement for causes like Native sovereignty.
Then, we looked into the nonprofit sector as a whole to understand research trends, sector norms, and donor behaviors to make sure that we were connecting correctly.
We also looked at NGC's unique advantages over its competitors. finding that they are the only nonprofit that focuses on Native governance. However, we still took the time to look into indirect competitors to identify industry trends and best practices.
This led us to three main key findings. First, the Native Governance Center had to make its impact clear, because people donate to effective organizations. According to a YouGov study, 96% of people that donated say it's very important that their money go to do the most good possible.
And secondly, that there are outdated perceptions of Native people. But luckily, there's a growing curiosity around their culture. According to the same Reclaiming Native Truth survey we mentioned earlier, 76% of Americans are interested in learning more about Native culture.
Third, the work that Native Governance Center does drives forward Native communities by building infrastructure for Native people to live in the modern day.
This led us to the central point of our strategy. We aim to shift perceptions of Native people and NGC not as something frozen in history, but as a living, evolving force, with governance as its engine. Mainstream media often depicts Native people as relics of the past, tied up solely to historical context. But Native people are here today, shaping communities and leading their governments with strength and resilience.
But before we dive into our critic, let's take a look at who our audience really is. We look to expand beyond NGC's traditional donor base. To do so, we looked at the nonprofit's first-party data, 36 secondary sources, and MRI samples.
Our primary audience consists of men and women aged 35 to 64 in the Twin Cities and Duluth. Those passionate about environmental conservation and community engagement as the best fit for NGC's mission.
Our secondary audience is familiar with NGC's work. They might include past program participants, tribal leaders, or just community advocates.
With that, we are proud to introduce our campaign, The Future is Native. Our work aimed to highlight Native leaders, families, and professionals in their city, in urban environments. By doing so, we emphasize the reality that Native people are much more than just a chapter in a history textbook.
This work was only possible by building a strong client relationship that was built on trust and constant feedback, because we really wanted to make sure the work we were making was authentic and true to the Native communities that we meant to represent.
And every piece of this effort served a dual purpose, advancing and highlighting NGC while also deepening the understanding of modern Native people. Because when people see the tangible impacts of NGC's work, they understand Native communities as they truly are, vibrant, resilient, and shaping the future.
We launched our campaign in alignment with their annual impact report. This serves as the cornerstone of their communication strategy, highlighting everything that happened in the past year and all their future goals. Their team was overstretched, so we stepped in to elevate the report's design to make sure that it reflected the importance of their work.
The next component of our campaign was more than just a creative asset. It was a powerful storytelling tool designed to challenge stereotypes and build a deeper understanding of NGC's impact. We had the opportunity to create 2 video spots, a 30 and a 15-second cutdown. Please take a moment and enjoy watching our 30-second spot.
When you support Native Governance Center,
You create educational opportunities for Native people and allies.
You help us to use the future of our nation.
You give me the opportunity to lead my tribal community.
You protect Native Nation's financial security.
Together, we can build a stronger Native future. Visit nativegov.org to learn more.
The creation of these spots was a tremendous effort by both our team and clients. We went through multiple rounds of video concepts, revision, and through the editing. Our people's forward approach made a connection between NGC and their audience that was often left out of previous marketing efforts.
And just like our videos, our social assets featured real NGC program participants, a past school teacher turned Minnesota State Senator, a tribal leader of the Lower Indian Sioux, and an indigenous family living in the Twin Cities.
And don't worry, on top of this, we made sure to honor NGC's practices of ethical practice by fundraising to compensate all Native talent involved. Because their first-hand experiences showed the tangible impacts of NGC's work.
Our social had a tremendous positive impact. In the weeks following our campaign, NGC gained over 1,000 followers on Facebook alone. This platform, which is vital to their donor engagement strategy, is a testament to our impact on their organization as a whole.
Finally, to round out our campaign ecosystem, we made multiple display banners. Overall, by showcasing self-determined Native stories, we showed how NGC has a hand and a role in building Stronger tribal sovereignty empowers economic development and preserves cultural features. Because this wasn't just representation, it was proof of what Native governments could do when they had the tools to govern effectively.
Our campaign with NGC ran through the entirety of April to align with the release of their annual impact report. And in order to effectively connect with our diverse audience, we utilized a multi-channel media strategy, providing both organic and paid placements.
Through hours of partner meetings and outreach, our team secured 4 million donated impressions with 9 different media vendors, including Samsung, Vivo, and Tubi. This was valued over $50,000, and those specific channels are CTV, OLV, social, and banks.
And our team also raised $6,400 in monetary sponsorships to help fund social media ads and other campaign expenses. This diverse mix of channels allowed us to effectively connect with NGC's expanded audience base.
Let's take a second to thank them here for allowing us to come here and for this campaign now.
Our campaign with NGC works to not only further the goals of the Native Governance Center, but to also advance the accurate representation of Native people across the U.S. By doing so, we ensure that NGC can continue to protect Native sovereignty for generations to come.
Our team provided 587 hours of work, totaling $132,000 worth of time, media, and campaign expenses.
And while our team still put awareness of NGC as our primary objective, they did see a notable uptick in individual donors, a sign that our campaign was going above and beyond the success that we initially imagined.
But our real success was the lasting relationship that we built with NGC. It showed us what collaboration and shared vision can make, which is worth more than any monetary value.
Advertising that effectively solves client goals while also making a true, lasting impact on culture is more important than any metric or award. Our campaign with NGC is driving real change in the way that Native people are accurately represented in media.
So our team, knowing that we made a positive impact in the world around us, lets us know